Yeah, I guess I press the button because I'm going to get up to press the button again.
Makes sense to me.
It's idleness on my part and nothing else.
Nothing wrong with being idle.
Idling. I've been quite muggy though.
Devil makes work for Ireland.
He does apparently. Oh, look at you dropping in. Look at you dropping in
I'm getting a
references.
segue in.
What are we talking about?
Well, today we've donned our black hooded robes.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Satanism. I'm the Black Pope of Satanism today, as Mr. LaVey is also called.
And we are your minions.
And you are my acolytes, Gaz and Mike, as always, my loyal acolytes.
Hello.
Good day.
So, yeah.
So there's quite a lot of stuff to get through in all fairness.
We decided. What did we decide? We're going to not nail it as one big. It's huge.
Yeah.
Satanism's a huge
Yeah,
thing, isn't it?
it is, and it's very complicated.
Mm-hmm.
There's branches of it, which I wasn't aware of. I just thought, Church of Satan, there you go. Bang it away.
There's
Tidy.
two main ones, isn't there?
Bang tidy.
There's
Bang tidy, one church, there you go.
there's theistic Satanism, which deals with a supernatural deity, and there's atheistic Satanism, which is more of a symbol of human traits.
Ah.
Right,
That's
so,
the two main branches, I think.
and of course you've got but the thing is, the Church of Satan, praise his name. That's a really bad attempt at a preach. Do apologise. Basically, it's about man. They don't believe in. They don't even. Church of Satan doesn't actually go for. Even we invented all the gods. Satan isn't real. It's just a representation. So we created all the gods because we can't accept or control our personal egos. We need deities who can act without that hindrance. The Satanist understands that God's a fiction, so instead of bending the knee to worship, he places himself at the centre of his own subjective universe. So you're not worshipping a god in that respect, you're worshipping the ideal.
That's where I was a little bit confused. The Crowley stuff, he's saying, do what thou wilt.
Do what thou wilt.
Do what thou
It's the
wilt.
whole of the law.
Which is beautiful and simple and lovely, and I agree with that bit. But then, I think even he said he can't be a Satanist in the way he was called a Satanist, because he doesn't believe in that kind of Christian description of Satan. So it's a completely different thing, isn't it?
He used to be green.
Oh, he was green, not
He was
red.
green originally, then the Coca-Cola company got hold of him. No, it wasn't Coca-Cola, but yeah, he was turned into it.
Satan's an anagram of Santa,
Yeah, true.
Fuck. Oh my god.
I think.
But then you've got Krampus, who comes back as the Christmas devil. Probably a future episode.
Satanists are coming, Satanists are coming. Yay!
And they're probably going to steal your children, as Christian right in America alleges, as I'm sure we'll find out. Because I don't agree with that is Satanism, what they do. I don't.
On a slight side note, Coca-Cola, and this is quite fucking satanic, to be honest. The Coca-Cola truck from the adverts, it goes on tour, and I remember seeing on Facebook like last year, a lot of people really fucking excited to take their kids to go and see this fucking object of capitalist fucking cocksuckery. Just go there and get bumfucked by a company that's absolutely raping you from the inside out with poison. Come on, kids. This is what Christmas is all about. The fucking Satan truck. Sorry. If it comes this year, I'm not going to do anything, am I? I'm just going to publicly rant.
If it's genuinely, I have people on my Facebook feed who, like, as soon as they see that advert, I'm telling you that's it, it's Christmas. That is it.
Oh, God.
Like, oh, it's in the advert. And I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. Then you end up with a countdown every day.
Oh, I hate it.
God. But as I pointed out many times, the only red truck I want to see come to my town is Optimus fucking Prime. Right? I'm not interested in the Santa truck or the fucking...
amazing.
Or a fire truck if you're on fire.
Well, I would appreciate it. But thanks to Tory cuts, there's none of that.
Thanks to Tory cuts, you are more likely to see Optimus Prime if your house is on fire. Oh, no disrespect to the victims of
No.
the tower. Yeah, how was it? Grenfell. That's an episode in itself.
Oh, tell me about it.
Upcoming, I believe.
Yeah. So
sorry.
So shall we start with Mr. Crowley?
It's a kind of magic, sex magic.
Yes.
We're going to start where it began, the Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah.
Well, you know what he did in the Bible. He tempted Jesus, failed.
Well, actually, there's the first mention of Satan is in the Old Testament, and it's not a figure, a deity. It's just a normal noun. So I could call you a Satan. You know.
I like it. Stop doing that.
You are a Satan.
Thank you. I have
Satan.
on my T-shirt. It just says Satanic Orgy Tour 2017. I wore it especially for today.
Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie. He was very good at download, so I bought his T-shirt. I owed him that much.
Good on you. That's the way it works.
Mm.
Yeah, it's only the New Testament that he's considered is referred to as a fallen angel. He tempts men to sin.
So yet another kind of fuck up on the Bible's part then, really. No one was fact checking, were they? That's the problem.
They were written at different times, weren't they?
Well, no one fact checked the old thing, obviously.
Well, when I was a little kid, my nan had this giant illustrated Bible. I used to stare at it for hours because it had a fucking awesome image that's still burnt into my mind to this day. Like, Jesus was kind of literally fist fighting with Satan on the rock, and like, if I remember right, I think Satan stabbed him. No, I used to look at this picture. It was the goriest thing I had access to at the time. I was probably about 5. It was like, this is so fucking cool. Did they ever fight? Maybe that's why I'm obsessed with fighting Jesus.
Do you consider yourself the devil?
Well, for 40 days and 40 nights, Jesus was tempted, wasn't he, by
He offered him the kingdoms of the world, which ironically he ended up with anyway.
What's
didn't
his
he?
story then?
Well, he knows anyway, so what's the point?
Yeah, but he's ended up with them anyway, so did he give in? Was it just PR?
That's it, what's the point of giving it if you know you're going to get it?
What did he offer him?
He offered him the kingdoms of the earth and all that are in them.
Hasn't he already got that? He's
Yeah.
the son of God, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's going to inherit it.
This Satan sounds like a right knobhead. He didn't think that through.
Biblical Satan's not much fun.
He didn't think that through.
No.
The
Satan's
snake thing was a nice...
The snake thing was nice. I like the snake thing, that's good. But he had a bit of a dry spell to that in the Bible, didn't he? I mean, I prefer like the Dante's Inferno kind of stuff where he's fun. He's like 9 layers of hell.
Are we going to mention Dante?
Have you got anything on Dante?
I haven't, have you?
I know that the Inferno is 9 layers of hell and the betrayers are at the inner circle. Judas is in the inner circle.
And in one of my favourite movies of all time, Clerks, the main character's called Dante.
Yeah.
And there are 7, the title cards that come up. So there are 7 chapters to the movie. There you go.
There you go. But it was a poem written by Dante in the 15th
So being a
century.
clerk is in hell.
Yes.
In hell.
Yeah.
Like
Stuck
it.
in hell. I've
One
been
of my
there.
favourite films as well.
I adore that film. Yeah.
Clerks 2 isn't bad.
I love it too. I really do. It's totally different,
Kelly.
but it's a companion piece. I think it's not. Yeah, he's doing Jay and Silent Bob too next year.
I never liked Silent Bob James on Strike Back. I thought it was a shadow of the former films.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Sorry,
that
Kevin
was,
Smith.
That was him being silly though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to say anything. But then again, did you see Red State, which is very serious?
No, I didn't actually. No.
You'd like it. It's weird. He's playing like a version of the Westboro Baptist Church.
Okay.
It's kind of like.
Also fitting.
Yeah, it's a fictionalized version of them, and it's a good movie, but there's no laughs at all.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But anyway.
They are dicks, though, aren't they? I mean, how is that even God's work?
Mm.
I mean, as I saw a great...
Taking the Bible for literally...
Yeah, but Jesus didn't say anything about homosexuality. He didn't say, don't do that.
There's an amazing bit, the way the film ends. Spoilers, if you're listening, Red State. That they take it so literally, these characters, that to get them out of their compound, because they're armed to the teeth, these students, this all happens off screen, but it's explained. These students get giant PA systems and play the sounds of the horns which apparently signals
sound of the Rapture.
yes,
Yeah.
and these fucking tools come out of their compound. Yes,
Do they all get shot at the end?
Take me, arrested. But yeah,
wait, so they came out with their guns?
yeah, because
That was foolish.
They came out to like rub it in the police's face. I think like, yes, look, you can't do nothing. The world is about to end.
That's still
Shoot
foolish.
me.
I wouldn't go there with my gun. I'm not going to heaven. I ain't going to heaven with my gun. You can pry it from my cold dead hands, God.
From my cold dead hands. That's such a sick thing when you think about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's holding up his death machine, saying the only way you can take it from me is by
if you shoot
killing me.
If you shoot me with another similar death machine.
Fuck the NRA. Anyway.
Yeah, so biblical Satan wasn't very good at his job.
Back to biblical Satan.
Although I did like his whole, better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven spiel. That was good. That's in the Paradise Lost. John Milton. He tells a story of his fall. It's pretty good, actually. It's, he's fed up. He thinks that God's actually keeping us down.
I thought of a better twist we could put on the Bible. If the people who wrote it were really thinking, if they read comics. So God's got a son that he sends to Earth to do good stuff.
Yeah.
Why didn't the devil send one?
He's sending the Antichrist, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but is he in the form of a bloke like Jesus? So,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about this. Fuck.
Dude, have you never seen the Omen?
No.
Apparently he's meant to be alive now.
Well, we can all guess who that is.
Oh yeah, he's Gabriel Byrne in that Schwarzenegger movie.
No, he was just the devil, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, so I'm thinking the devil's
baby
son.
was the Antichrist.
So the Antichrist is the devil's son.
Yeah.
And that's just in a man's form. They fucking stole my idea.
And they're going to come to prominence and rule the Earth for how long? 1,000 years?
No, it's like 7 years. It was 7 years of war, basically. 7 years.
Oh, what's new?
Hey, we've been. How long's that Afghan thing been
About
going on?
15 years now.
5 more years, we're going to go
14 years. Well, that'll be a great comfort for everybody. Well, do you think Cash for Gold will take just that one shot? Because it'd be a pretty big watch to fit around the UK, although it would disrupt motorways.
So,
I'll take anything.
Jesus and the Antichrist.
That's the gold, a lot.
Yeah. Jesus and the Antichrist in a steel cage.
Right.
Once and for all time. We'll just settle it. Either heaven or hell will prevail. Why is all this? We could solve it really quick.
Yeah, but they're going to rub the
Sell
rest of us
tickets.
in.
It's been foretold in a prophecy.
Yeah, but the Rapture's not even in the Bible. It's just something that the Christians made up to make themselves feel really good. It's not even in the Bible. It says nothing about it. But they believe it. And it's like, it's basically just their version of giving us the middle finger, saying, well, fuck you, we can be dicks now because we follow this book. But in our, but we believe in Sky Daddy, so we're going to heaven. The rest are going to be stuck down there fighting fucking demons for 7 years.
The extreme Christians, they want to actually bring on Armageddon.
Well, yeah, because they'll go to heaven quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not the devil talking, or their version of the devil.
How are we supposed to fight the demons?
Oh, fucking guns and swords and shit.
Oh. I don't fancy that.
Or,
I know I talk a big game. I'm sitting here every week saying I want to knock out Jesus. But
the thing is, though, you can die in the first day, then you get to heaven.
Oh, okay.
So I just go nuts.
Just
charge
do one of them. Change of plan. Leg it. But towards them.
Because let's face it, if that comes to pass, that Jesus' angels show up, the Antichrist and a shitload of demons show up, and they say, right, choose a side, you're going to go, well, I don't fancy an eternity of getting burned horribly and stabbed a lot. I'll go with the guy in white and his angelic horde, thank you. Because at that point, you know it's all real.
Yeah.
So you repent your sins, you join the army of Jesus, and there you go, there's your battle. You die, it doesn't matter, I've repented, I'm going to heaven, I've got a good time.
I think you found a loophole.
I have. Because, I mean, alright, you might get horribly killed by a demon, right? Torn apart, lacerated.
Yeah.
Who knows, yeah? But, you got it good after that for all eternity.
Definitely.
I'm not going to choose to fight on the Antichrist side, am I? If there's blatantly Jesus and a shitload of angels, I go, well, you ain't telling me the truth here, mate.
Exactly. Even if you die by like a demon ripping your cock off through your arsehole, and you just bleed out really slowly, it's going to suck.
Or smaller demons peck at your flesh.
Yes.
Taking your eyes, tongue, all that.
Cockroach demons.
Yeah. And scarab beetle things on the fucking mummy. I hate them bastards.
But you'll be lying there thinking, any minute now, eternal paradise, any minute now.
Oh. All my relatives will be there. All the family pets. Oh, how great that'll be.
I don't know. I can't vouch for some of my family members that I never met who died before. They could have been right fuckholes. They could be as in hell as it gets.
Well,
I don't know.
So, yeah, that's a good point.
Sinners.
But no, Lucifer, genuinely, in the Bible, when he was an angel, he was the light bringer. He wanted to bring us illumination. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? I mean, God wanted to keep us down, so he was fighting for us. Look at it that way.
Was.
Yeah. That's one way of looking at it.
I'm flip-flopping on this biblical version. I definitely prefer the take as much drugs and fuck as many things as you can version of Satan.
You prefer the atheistic?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going for that one, yeah. Whereas it's more of an ideal on how to live your life rather than believing in a deity.
And what a simple, wonderful way to start any sort of philosophy or religion, just with that simple line. Do what thou willst.
Do what thou willst.
Do whatever the fuck thou willst.
Yeah, but don't you think that might have consequences?
Oh,
yeah, but you're relying on a bit of common sense as well, aren't you? I mean,
no, it doesn't. It just says do what thou willst.
Yeah, but
that's the law.
But you're bound by your own moral code. You're not taking a moral code from anyone else.
But what's your moral code?
Well, then don't be a dick.
But it's do what you will, but it's not saying do everything you can. It's not like, oh, I have to do all the things now, like murder and...
No, but if that's in your heart and that's what you want to do, like Hitler, you're saying, well, Hitler's like, do what they will.
It's the ultimate catch-22, man.
So I'm sceptical of it, I'm afraid.
Okay, let's say it could have positive and negative.
Rule,
What's the golden rule?
Do whatever you want as long as it doesn't harm anyone else.
Yeah.
Don't be a cunt.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
But that doesn't take that into account, does it?
It could, though. I think...
Okay, we never went around killing people, well, that we know of.
You could take it more like...
Probably did, actually.
I suppose... I think the way he's meaning it, and this is my take on it, is that like throwing off the sort of shackles of like society and like how we're not doing what we want, are we? Like, you know, I go to work because I need the money to buy the things because I'm in the system. Do what you want, and I'm told I can't do drugs. I can't have multiple partners. I can't do any of those things. But why? Why can't I do them? And I suppose he's just saying, if you want, you don't have to. And if what you want is something bad, well then, I don't know. Well, you have to take into account there are bad apples, aren't there?
Yeah.
That do what they want anyway.
Well, yeah, that's another good point. They're doing what they want anyway, so...
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you take the golden rule, then they can't do anything to impose on anyone else.
So if you take over the world and we end up like that fucking horrifying future from Demolition Man, where everyone has to be really nice to each other all the time.
How do the three seashells work?
I read an article on that. That would be the only law. Like, do what you want, but don't be a dick about it, kind of thing.
Well, it makes sense to me.
And don't piss on the grass.
Yeah. And we'll get a bit of toilet paper and you can't swear in public. You're nothing but a fucking left-wing fascist, my friend.
Kind of a bit of an oxymoron, but I don't know. What do you call me?
Oh, I mean, it's just...
Oh, yeah, should I tell Mike at this point what I told Ben this before we recorded?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
This is a bone to pick with Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley! That's the last time I've been doing that.
That's fine. I watched a little documentary on him on YouTube, and then in the...
What was it called?
The Wickedest Man.
I watched it as well, yeah.
And then in the linked documentaries underneath, it said the creepiest sitcom episode in American history. Something similar. And I'm like, okay, it must be connected somehow, it's there. And I clicked on it, and it wasn't a documentary, it was just the episode in question. So I ended up watching about 10 minutes of the 80s sitcom Different Strokes. And about 10 minutes in, it becomes very apparent.
I've seen it as well.
This particular episode is all about little cute little Arnold, getting groomed and fuck knows, because I didn't get that far into it, but it was like proper stranger danger pedo land type thing. And I'm like, what the fuck has this got to do with Crowley, Satan? I didn't need to see this.
And the thing is, one of them, I'm not sure which one, was actually abused.
Oh no.
That takes the piss, doesn't it?
Oh no.
You're recording an episode that you know it's about abuse which you suffered. I mean,
I didn't make it through the whole thing, but Yeah, so fuck you, Mr. Crowley. That's one thing, Mr. Crowley, that you did for me that I don't agree with. Yeah, and in full disclosure to anybody listening, I did drugs last night, and I feel fucking awful today.
Say no to drugs, kids.
So
Say no to drugs.
Fuck you. but I do like that do what thou wilst thing. But I'll admit maybe it needs a
caveat.
Yes, a caveat underneath. Some brackets, just so you know, just do what thou wilt within reason, lad. You know, don't go all Savile on us, because or that doctor that murdered many people, Shipman. We don't want another Shipman. But
I don't know. He did take a lot of strain off the NHS. You've got to give him that. I apologise.
Where they mercy killings? Get in there, ref.
I apologise.
He was only killing Tory voters.
He was actually doing it for. No, he wasn't going to say that. Well, but no waiting lists. So he's fucking reading. I'm telling you.
No.
And the doctor was rarely in office.
He did house calls.
Many house calls.
I'll tell you this is no lie. Like, say about 5-6 years ago, I went to my doctor's by me, and I happened to see a screensaver, and it was a picture of how Shipman.
Oh no.
No shit.
Big gallows humour though, come on.
That wasn't Dr. Parrish at all.
I found
the only doctor who had an anatomical skeleton wearing a sombrero, a fag in his mouth and sunglasses in his office.
He was.
Hey, it's cancer. You've got 1 week to live. Look at this cartwheel. Woo! I'm the fun doctor.
This boy's a present here, but it's a wig.
Or fetching bandana.
You're going to need this.
And if you don't like the way it looks, you can always garrot yourself with it.
I recommend a teacher wank. Sorry, Dr.
Parrish. Harold Shipman mug. Can't seem to shift them.
I'd have taken a mug. I genuinely would have.
I swear to God, he did have it as a screensaver. And he actually went on the computer and saw that I seen it. There was a little look. And he just carried on. And that's well dodgy.
I would have been old people have seen that and thought,
yeah, got a heart attack there and then.
My God, you don't think. Oh, wow.
You're having a conversation though at the desk. The little old lady comes in and she's alright. And you look away, and while you've looked away, she's clocked what's on the screen, and you look up again. Ethel, you're alright. She's just frozen to the spot with piss. Ethel?
The easiest bowel movement she's had in years.
Oh, man.
I'll fix your urinary tract infection.
So, right,
should we go for Mr. Crowley? Should we just have a rundown
What
of Mr.
did
Crowley?
Mr. Crowley do? Because I'm not convinced he actually did anything.
Here is I think, a very brief, beautiful description of him. He was a poet, a mountaineer, a man who once made a female follower fuck a goat while he sacrificed it at the moment of orgasm. The woman's or the goat's orgasm, I can't be sure.
Maybe both.
So, a multifaceted man. A man who let his fellow mountaineers die in an avalanche while he drank tea.
Very British of him, I must admit.
Yeah, the tea bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not the psychotic
I'm not
listening
sure about that.
to the moans and groans of your...
Well, I couldn't save them anyway. Kind of thing, yeah.
Serves right. If you can't take the heat, get out of the snowdrift.
Not the goddamn man.
Because I've got to be honest, I'm still a little bit... not really that much the wiser of what he... The book that he wrote, what's it called? The main...
Book of the Law.
That's it. And that saying is literally the first line, isn't it, or something? The one we've been saying. Do what thou...
That is the law, the whole of the law, isn't
That's it. Because it seems a lot of... But when he seemed to have a resurgence in the 60s with all the Led Zeppelin... stuff and
well, yeah, because the Zozo symbol, Jimmy Page wore is a
well, he bought his house,
cult symbol,
his old house, but like that was 20 years after the fact, after he died. Like, was that just a trendy thing at the time.
They see him as as like Ben's a rule breaker. He broke all the conventions, you know, the things that he did. He went to go and live in like an abbey as a monk and had, like you said, did what he wanted. And he used to have this psychology room where he'd have all these weird paintings.
Yeah, the nightmare room.
The nightmare room.
Yeah.
That's it. People just think that he's a symbol of
rebelling
against the establishment.
I guess that's what makes it. That's what appealed to me, to be honest. In there, because the magic I still don't know where or how I feel about any of the magic stuff.
I have a tale about the magic stuff. Did you read about him and his wife on their honeymoon spent the night in the chamber, the tomb of the king in the Great Pyramid, which he must have had some money to do. Let's face it.
Well, he took 2/3 of his father's fortune, didn't he, when his dad died? So he had money for a while. He ran out eventually, but
living that kind of lifestyle. Let's face it.
Yeah, and he read from the Lesser Key of Solomon.
His wife allegedly into some kind of bid. He communicated the book of the law.
And she started tripping out though, didn't she? And
she did.
In Horace.
Yes.
And then they got to the exhibit
in the museum, and she went straight to number 666.
Or it is a human.
666, number of the beast.
Yes.
And then, you know, and what was exhibit number 666? It was a statue of Horus. But you could have visited that museum a couple of weeks before and you just realised that. I mean, who's to say? I don't know. I wasn't there.
He says that he contacted an entity named Alwas, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And
he's the one that gave him the book of the law. He gave him all the information.
But then on the other hand, you see, now I was thinking about this.
We're talking. Sorry, go on.
So I've heard Bob Dylan
describe
how songs come to him fully formed, almost as if they're from the ether. Like he just sits and channels these words, and he's not claiming that that's any kind of deity or any kind of spiritual thing. It's just a way that creativity happens.
The interview with him where he says that he sold his soul to the devil.
Oh, Bob said a lot of stuff.
Bob's been high.
He used to fuck with people a lot. Like when they were, I love that interview. It's like the '60s, and like all these old fuddy duddies are trying to. They're like, "What's your message? What do your songs mean?" Like, how can you answer that question? He's like, "I'm just a song and dance man." Blows it down. No, you're not. Can't sing, you don't dance. But I love the guy. But my point is, he's not claiming that that's some he could say, instead of saying, they come to me fully formed, I just channel them, he could say, some ancient thing called Willy Wash, whatever. He told me Subterranean Homesick Blues.
And he's got a dirty dog.
Give me some money and fuck this goat. So Mr. Crowley could have just had a real flash of inspiration, which happens. I've written things and it comes in drips and drabs, and it's not like, so I don't know, because maybe I find it hard to believe that people have contact with ancient things, because it's never happened to me. If it happened to me, maybe I'd be down for this, but I don't know. And how high was he when he was
that's another good point.
And
how high was his missus more than the point? I mean, she's the one that effectively dictates it was the automatic writing kind of thing, wasn't it? She's taken over by the so-called spirits.
The Eye of Horus.
He wanted to bring the world into the Aeon of Horus. He founded the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Open the gates of hell. And I was thinking about this earlier too. If these things are true, I was thinking about this. Like they're trying to summon up spirits and demons, and I was thinking, well, you can't see them, can you? But what if that's the point? What if they don't emerge as visible things? It's just all the bad shit that's been happening, or the war, or the
what
death.
What it's meant to be is you're meant to invoke a demon so it can take over possess your body. So it can work through you. So it'll give you more power because you've got the power of a demon back in you.
Right. Okay. So it would have been him doing. So if it worked, he would have done some really evil shit then, which I suppose he did, didn't he? 'Cause he did. He drugged people without them knowing it as well, didn't he? He liked to do that.
And fucked them a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he was evicted in 1923 from Italy by Mussolini.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on.
Yeah, in all fairness, if Mussolini's evicting you, you're a fucking bad dude. If a fascist dictator's declaring you a bit too much out there, I mean,
oh man. And like they were in like a really obscure place in Sicily as well, like, and there was no internet. How bad was it that word spread to fucking Mussolini in the first place?
The Abbey of Thelema.
Yeah, they're fucking goats in there, bro.
And nightmare rooms.
Yeah.
So what was the nightmare room? I didn't see the nightmare room.
He'd dose you up on cocaine, send you into like a dark room full of weird porno paintings that he'd made and stuff written on the walls, and just leave you in there to. I don't know. You
did that willingly, or was that punishment?
Disciples, yeah.
Those are the people at the Abbey that were, I guess, that chose to be there with him. But he does look cool in some of those photographs, though. I've got to be honest, when he's all dressed up in the crazy shit,
yeah.
And I do think there's something I quite admire about it. Oh, fuck them Christians. I mean, anyone could do this. I'll start my own. And mine's cool.
Like it comes from Martin Luther did that originally. The Reformation of whatever.
The Reformation of the Church, Mike. Martin Luther. Yeah.
Reformation of something.
Physics GCSE.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything about history.
History.
Or RE.
Yeah. Quiet college boy.
So, essentially, he did kind of just... Because I was quite surprised how much he'd travelled the world, and he read the Quran, he studied Hinduism, didn't he? So, he's probably...
more versed in
pinched
ancient religions and probably knows the people who profess to follow them, let's put it that way.
And I suppose at that time as well, like, it's not like a dude that sat in a library somewhere and read everything. At that time, someone who'd actually travelled to these places for years at a time, you know, that would probably carry some weight. And well, he obviously did. People fucking worshipped him, didn't they?
Could have been the sex magic.
Sex magic. Now then,
he believed, didn't he, that at the point of orgasm, that was when you could really...
It was like a shortcut to like the higher, you know, because it's the point of creation, right, you know, the climax. And you're supposed to... His idea is that by thinking of what you want, success, money, romance, whatever, thinking of that at the point of orgasm will bring it into being. Now,
so if I'm about to come and I go, oh, power and bitches.
Yeah, power and bitches. You know, as I may have mentioned a few times on previous episodes, recently single, not bitter at all. Bitch.
You need some power and bitches.
Yeah,
exactly. You need to start thinking about power and bitches.
I've been thinking
about batteries and dogs.
No, look, this sex magic can be done either through heterosexual orgasm, homosexual orgasm, or autosexual. I'm in a wank.
Seems the best option where you are.
The last couple of months of single life, I've been masturbating frequently and thinking about my ex at the point of.
Is this in a conscious effort?
In a conscious... Now listen, I've been thinking about her in an effort to see, alright, can I get her to come back? Now,
come back.
She hasn't got in contact, but a different ex-girlfriend has.
I thought you were going to say a boyfriend has.
So, it didn't exactly score, but I bit the crossbar. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see the analogy, yeah.
I was thinking ex-girlfriend, it just got muddled up, because it is weird that I haven't heard from the one that's been in touch in 5-6 years. So
is that the model?
No,
the law of attraction, isn't it? That's what people say.
Yeah, it kind of worked. So I'm just going to start masturbating even more, guys.
Coming from a science point as well.
Oh man, we're going science boys back.
Physics and wanking.
Physics and wanking. Why was I teaching me the physics of wanking in fucking secondary school? Oh man,
that was Mike's dissertation.
I present to you the physics of wanking.
20,000 words. Sorry, the pages are a bit stuck.
Oh man, my keyboard's really gummed up.
Well, we don't.
Sorry, the physics of wanking.
Well, it's my fault. I probably didn't need to tell you all about my sex magic experiment, but if the bitch hadn't dumped me, I could have had a way better sex magic story I could have told you, because I could have tried some real sex magic, but blame her. I won't name her.
Or shame her.
Give it a couple of weeks. I'll put a fucking address on here. No.
No, that's because I think that's pretty illegal, actually.
Yes,
Pretty sure it is.
Probably very illegal.
Just for the record, we do not condone that kind of behaviour in anybody.
Allegedly. No, that stuff I said about drugs earlier was for the podcast, man.
He's a quiet church-going teetotaler any other time.
I'm a straight edge, man. I'm like CM Punk.
CM Punk.
But the sex magic. Now, this came to him when he was fucking in the desert or something, wasn't he?
Yes.
Fuck. It didn't.
With a dude he destroyed.
Oh, it was with a dude.
He destroyed this dude with his anus.
With his anus. With his
anus.
What did he shit all
He'd
over?
taken. He was very practiced with his anus. He was a power bottom. And he basically gave this guy a load of peyote, a drug, and over several days, basically just kind of destroyed this dude with his ass.
Do you mean destroying him with his knob?
Mentally kind of just destroying him. Like he could. I don't know the details. I don't think anyone knows the fucking details. But this guy, after several days of fucking in the desert on drugs, was never the same man ever again.
In fact, most people, didn't they, went insane
Mm.
that knew Crowley.
His first wife ended up insane.
Was she the one who was doing the fucking automatic writing? Because I can probably believe
Yeah,
that.
she's the one who had his son and did the 666 thing. Then his favourite sort of girl, mistress, while he was at the Abbey. I think did she end up dead or I don't know, I've got it on my...
A lot of people ended up dead around.
She did end up in prostitution. She's the one who fucked the goat too. But that's where basically in the desert when he's destroying this guy is that where he has the epiphany and decides sex magic is a thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
But we could also his sex magic theory could also just be his own justification of his voracious perversions, like that he'd had from a child. Like he was kicked out of school for contracting gonorrhea from a prostitute.
Hey, you're going to get kicked out of school for something.
Come on, legend.
Yeah, he would have been like a standing ovation at our school if he had done that. As he was being walked out with a dead man walking the green mile. That would have been it. You know, it was a standing ovation.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Hello. So, okay. So in 1920, Mr. Crowley set up the Abbey of Thelema. Anyway, it was an abbey in, I think, is it in Sicily?
It was.
Yeah, and it was around this time that the tabloids started to have a go at him for his work with the German war effort.
That's a bit naughty.
Yes, he was doing intelligence work.
He was. During the First World War, he campaigned for the German war effort in the USA.
Fucking hell.
Cock.
Did he consider the greater evil and therefore...
Well, he didn't like Britain, so...
Now, this sounds like the kind of doctor...
Oh, the cat's attacking the bag.
There was a cat attacking the bag, if you can hear it.
The carrier bags are...
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so, now this sounds like a doctor that I could get behind. Mr. Crowley was suffering with asthma, went to a doctor who prescribed him heroin.
Oh, wow.
A bit of China White. Which,
and what year
surprisingly,
was that?
around in 1920.
In 1920,
Yes.
they're still giving out heroin as a cure.
And funny enough,
Do they have
he soon
penicillin? by
became
then?
addicted.
Oh, really?
Funny that.
Strange. How weird.
It is very Moorish, I've been told, that heroin. For asthma as well, though.
For asthma?
Oh, you're not doing very well breathing. Here, get high as fuck.
Yeah. Well,
and you won't care that you can't breathe.
You won't give a fucking shit about it, mate. You won't care.
You'll just nod out. Probably in a stairwell somewhere.
Just on a heroin-related subject. I listened to another podcast about the death of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
I didn't realize a $400 a day heroin habit.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know how much heroin that buys, but it sounds a lot. If I was on a $400 a day pot habit, I'd be fucking concerned.
Yes. And the other thing is, I don't know, I can't verify this, but apparently he had enough heroin in his system that he would have been dead anyway.
He wouldn't have been. But with a $400 a day heroin habit, Jesus, I mean, he's got a bit of tolerance.
The amount that was in him, he would not have been able to lift a gun or even stand up or move. So, but Satan did it.
No, leave Satan out of this. He'd have enjoyed it. He'd have enjoyed Nirvana's music. It was all about the sex and the drugs and the rock and roll.
He did us all a favour, and Satan said, "Shut up, you whiny little bitch." Boom!
No, we can't say that.
Bring back the rock and roll.
How's you whiny little bitch? I mean,
I'm not the biggest Nirvana fan. I'll be honest.
In Utero, his albums got better. Utero was very good. I mean, he's arguably the best out of the 3 studio albums they released. I mean, where would he have gone from that? I mean, who can say? He could have gone shit, but it could have been even better.
I heard he was going to go solo.
I had heard that.
Yeah, but blew his head off, didn't he?
Well, there is that issue, yeah.
Or cut him up, killed him.
I had him killed by El Ducey.
El Duce, from that band. He tried admitting it to it, didn't he? But I think that.
And a few weeks later, he mysteriously fell under a train.
Hey, when you're writing a song called Donkey Dick, right, you're pretty drunk at times. There's every reason that you could quite easily fall under a train. I mean, if you're writing a song called Donkey Dick, you're doing it hammered.
And let's be honest, the amount I drink, I could die any evening. in the train, bus, the stairs.
Feral beast.
Yeah, I mean, I could
conjured by your own magic and drunken ravings.
I could get tangled up in the wire to my PlayStation controller.
Cut your circulation off.
I woke up with my headphones wrapped around my throat before, which was quite scary, to be perfectly honest. Fell asleep listening to it.
Hang yourself.
I fell asleep listening to it and woke up.
Wake up with a wardrobe one night with the belt round your neck,
dick in your hand.
Now that's a very look, mate. If I'm going to do some auto asphyxiation, I'll just own up to it.
I've been self-suiciding again.
Oh dear.
Did I mention that my girlfriend left me?
Suiciding.
It was sex magic. That's what I was trying. I was trying to manifest a new belt. Oh God. So let's get through this abbey. He basically had a following of disciples there, like Jesus, and they just got up to some really horrific shit. And like we said earlier, it got so bad. There was bestiality was going on.
With only goats,
there were goats involved. There were also children there that were witness to all these acts. He used to travel into the local town to visit rent boys and buy supplies and drugs. He was going out of town to get drugs and supplies. Leaving his abbey where he'd been fucking constantly. And he couldn't pick up the drugs and supplies without visiting a fucking brothel and a ring boy. For fuck's sake, Crowley. We all like to fuck, but come on. Jesus Christ, priorities, man.
Do what
drugs and milk.
Do what that roast,
There you go.
I want to fuck us some boys.
He's like, you know what? I just took some cocaine. I'm really in the mood.
So
he was snorting the fucking coke as soon as he picked it up. He was on heroin for that, man.
He was on heroin and cocaine, which I believe they call snowballing in the industry. There was no cleaning. There were wild cats and dogs. It was very unsanitary and just unsightly and altogether a bit sordid and rank.
I'm surprised they're snorting cocaine out of goats' arseholes.
Jesus, that's one hell of a pie.
Most rock and rollers, just what the cliche is, I'll snort coke off a hooker's fucking sexy ass. So he's like, put it in the goat. Goat coke. I think that's a poo nugget. This is the best day ever. I'm gonna wank.
Someone choke me.
Quick, somebody suck me off and punch me while I'm doing it.
Mix up my arms.
This is what it means to be human. You can do anything. Oh man.
Best party I ever went to, didn't you?
And
you haven't lived.
And this all basically resulted in, and this is where the tabloids. So one of the disciples left and talked to a newspaper in London in 1923. And that's where he got the nickname the wickedest man in the world, and a man we'd like to hang.
I like the first one better than the second.
Yeah. And basically the fascist government, like we said, of Mr. Mussolini, learned what was going on about the goat fucking and the kids watching the goat fucking and the goat fuck orgy binge.
Yeah.
And it was just like, get out of my fascist country.
And when a fascist dictator tells you that you're doing shit that's too extreme, you know you're being extreme. That's what it boils down to.
We fuck poor people in this country.
Yeah.
Let's get out.
And basically from there on, he just, nothing really, he didn't do anything particularly spectacular after then. But,
getting on a bit at that point though, wasn't he?
Yeah. But his book and these ideas were now out there, and like, Mike and I was saying off mic.
Mike was saying off mic?
Yeah, Mike was saying off mic.
Wow.
Yeah. I can leave my body whenever I want.
Fuck!
Being that rebellious against the church in that era at that time would have been such a rock star move thing to do that, like, well, he was the only person who'd had the balls really at that level and at that stage, so...
It's a complete opposite of Christianity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Satanism is an inversion of Christianity.
So
it's the absolute extreme you can go.
Yeah. Because Christianity.
It's not just like boycotting church. It's like you're actually
taking it way further. Like it's literally not just rejecting what the church is saying, but rejecting it and saying fuck you and wiping your arse.
A new Bible.
Like, wiping your arse on everything they stand for. Like. But he was very enthusiastic about it all, and
he loved that shit. You can't fault that. He loved that shit.
Yeah. And basically, I don't know how much of a philosopher he was. I don't know if he was a very good poet. Like I said to Ben, I did read a poem of his that literally uses the word fart, and he's talking about breathing in the farts of his lover. It's real. Google it.
It's damn real.
It's real. So I don't think he was a very good poet.
Poem about
And he was quite good at climbing mountains. We didn't mention much about that, but he did have a mountaineering career. And but essentially,
that was cut short when he decided to leave his mountaineers to die on the slopes.
So I could just think he was just a bit of a rock star, really. He was quite prolific at doing drugs and fucking. He just did a lot of weird fucking that I wouldn't necessarily agree with. And maybe. I don't know if he was wicked, evil. Maybe the kids witnessed all this stuff because he was so blitzed out of his fucking mind.
That's a possibility.
That he never thought to think, like, maybe they should be in a different part of the abbey.
Yeah, you were. If you're that off your face 24/7 on heroin and cocaine.
I've done some very questionable things when fucking on my face, not involving goats
or
children. Cocaine, yes, but.
Allegedly.
So he could have done. He could have just not really meant any of this because in his later life he did like have another kid, didn't he? And like chill out a bit and like be normal. No, quote unquote normal. That's Mr. Crowley, who just seems to have become a bit of a cult figure because I guess he was the first and he's quite iconic and it's kind of somehow leads us on to.
Well, can I say one last thing?
You certainly
can. In 2002. Where the BBC poll.
Oh yeah.
Poll.
I heard
poll.
Oh. We polled our listeners.
I think it could be either, but whatever.
No, should college boy. Just say poll for the peasants. All right.
Yeah. Okay. A BBC poll. He was voted the 73rd greatest Briton of all time.
I remember watching that show.
He made a goat fuck a woman while kids were watching.
Yeah.
So he fits into the Tory party.
Your point being,
David Cameron's like, I see your goat and I raise you a pig's head.
Because David Cameron fucked a pig, allegedly.
I just love all those pictures of him just holding pigs.
It's a really unfortunate, isn't it?
But don't you wish Teresa was satanic like me? Don't you?
He looks so happy holding pigs. I've never seen him more happy in his life.
In all fairness, you think that whole thing might actually just be fake news, and the fact that David Cameron just realised he's holding pigs and you know what, he fucked up and he's fucked a pig
before we forget though, just about that poll, that I think just purely represents the fucking wonderful sense of humour of the British people. That poll has been trolled and hijacked by people going, we'll vote for the Satan guy.
It's the vote.
how many people know who he was?
How great is he?
Yeah, but how many people know who Aleister Crowley is?
Not many.
They've probably got given a list of 200 people, and they thought, oh, Ozzy Osbourne wrote a song about
That's
it.
it, yeah.
And tick the fucking box.
Oh, I love that Sabbath song.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Ozzy, isn't it an Ozzy?
song?
He's an Ozzy. Yeah, it's an Ozzy solo. But he's like, oh yeah, Ozzy wrote a song. The fact he got 73rd just represents the fact that Black Sabbath were quite popular.
Yeah.
Could be.
I love
And Ozzy Osbourne himself was quite popular.
Yeah.
Because if you'd have asked me 10 years ago, when 2002 that poll, how old was I in 2002? 20
We left
You're
school
probably
in
still shit at
99.
maths though then.
Yeah, I was.
We left school in 99 with no maths
16,
GCSEs.
17, 18, 19. Right? Maybe 20. I don't know. Whatever, my maths is shit. I mean, no apologies for it. Let's have the cusp of
This podcast
1920.
ain't about maths.
It's not about maths. It's about post-apocalyptic truth.
Yeah.
Let's say I was late teens.
There's no maths.
Anyway,
Goat sex.
in the far future, the post-apocalyptic truth is only goat sex and cocaine.
But there's no maths.
There's no maths.
I'm going to write a fucking country and western song called Goat, Sex and Cocaine.
Just give me a 20% cut of her even, sir.
It sounds perfect.
20% cut of the title rights and we're alright. Oh, and I've just completely lost where I was. But anyway, that's my point. If I was in my late teens, I didn't know the fuck Aleister Crowley was, but I know that fucking Ozzy Osbourne wrote a song about him.
That's it. So that leads us on then to, are we done with Mr. Crowley, who gave birth to that book and that saying, which is quite cool. But I don't know if
Do
you
what thou willst.
don't necessarily follow it.